Hey everybody, what's good? It's King Jody. Welcome back to the party. Actually kind of excited for this video because today I'm going to be ranking some of the best weapons that you should probably be finding when you're playing Apex Legends. Now, before I do start, I just want to say Apex Legends rant video is coming soon within the next week or so. Dragon Ball Legend rant videos coming out soon. I'm, exploring different content. And also, I do want to make these videos. Whenever Justin's available, we're going to make that My Hero rant video. And yeah, we're making some good content, or we will be making good content very, very soon, hopefully. But yeah, let me rank the best guns in Apex. Let's get to it.
Inspire until I perspire. Higher, higher, higher. I'm on fire, fire, fire. Hell on earth comes down to the wire. Inspire until I perspire. Turn these niggas dead, and let's make it a man. I want the whole country getting fought in America dead. You ain't moving in that chopper as much.
All right. So everybody knows how our tier list works pretty much, but if you don't, we have a list, and then it goes from S to F. Sometimes we just have A to F. S is the best one, and then F is the worst. So when you go down, it's worse. When you go up, it's better. And all right, the first gun we have here is the Havoc. Oh, and real quick before I start, pretty much if you're on PC, any gun in this could pretty much be an I wouldn't say S, but at least like bare minimum like B, because on PC they just crazy on there, man. But I play on console, so this one's gonna be makes a little more sense if you're a console player. But PC players could relate. So let's just start to it with the Havoc. Now the Havoc, like it has like a kind of slow like build up or startup. I don't know exactly how you say it. Because you gotta wait a second for it to like charge up pretty much, and then it'll start going off, and then you gotta hit your shot. So I'm gonna put it on. I would put it on C tier because it's not the worst gun you can get off a drop, but I don't even know if it got nerfed or buffed. I don't remember. I don't be checking that stuff anymore like that, y'all. So, but I think it might have got nerfed a bit though, or buffed. I'm not sure. But like basically, if you ignore the slow load up and you can find energy ammo, it's all right of a gun. But that slow load up, especially if it's like a final circle match, and then you're just like, okay, let me go shoot them down, y'all. Let me go shoot them down. But the enemy already has like well, we get to the other guns. They have another gun that's automatic, or they can hit quick with the quick rate of fire. Yeah, Havoc ain't gonna cut it. I'm sorry, but it's all right. It's better than some other guns, which we'll get to. Which speaking of next gun, we have the Nemesis. When this first came out, this was the gun everybody wanted, but I think they nerfed it a bit. So I'm honestly gonna put it at B tier. It's like the Havoc, but every time you shoot it, the rate of fire becomes faster and faster. Um, it's really not that bad if you hit your shots, to be honest. I mean, there's really nothing stopping it from going to A tier, but I guess the problem is depending on the attachments you have. Like, if you don't have the right attachments for it, like you have like a small or like not even a light energy magazine or anything like that. I actually kind of like how they have the colors too for it. It makes it so much better. But if you don't have any of that, the attachments that can make the gun better, just it's not going to go well for you, to be honest. And if you don't hit your shots, and like you're not used to the rate of fire, if you're like the first time using it, and you're not used to the rate of fire, you might be confused, and that might mess up your shots a bit. So you got to take that into account. That's why it's B tier because it was really good, and I think they nerfed it a bit. But next gun is Vault. In my opinion, I love the Vault. The reason why it's not an S tier gun, which we will get to, but the reason why it's not an S tier gun is simply because there's just better guns and there's more common ammo to find, like light ammo. Energy ammo kind of be hard to find sometimes, but you can almost guarantee get light ammo. It's also a little bit hard to, well, I wouldn't say all the time, but there's just more common guns. It's a little less common to find, but if you get a vault and you have the right attachments, I like to get like the two times on it. Yeah, you're doing damage, man. You're doing damage. You're putting in work. Like it's crazy. It's crazy, but you just have to have the right attachments and you just have to make sure you get your shots. But it's a really good gun. Next gun is Devotion. This gun this was a legendary gun back in the day. Like me and Justin, y'all, we were season one players, so we know what we're talking about here. But this gun used to be good, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, but now it's just like, man, it's like I don't, it's not a D tier. It's like a C tier gun. It's really not that bad. It could technically be a B tier, but it's not that bad of a gun. The problem with the Devotion is that if you're not prepared for the rate of fire and the recoil, and you do not have a turbocharger, if you do not have basically the Devotion needs a turbocharger for it to be good. So if you do not have a turbocharger, y'all, like look at me. If you do not have a turbocharger and you're not on PC, you're probably not gonna be winning the fight. Literally, the devotion with the turbocharger could arguably be S. I think even still to this day. I know it got nerfed still, even with it. But I think with the turbocharger and you can hit your shot, it'll arguably be S. But without turbocharger, y'all, like people can run away. People can do a lot. People can do a lot of stuff in a time with to hit fire with or without the turbocharger, y'all. So that's why I see it here. And then you gotta find the energy. You gotta make sure you have the right magazine. If you use Rampart, it's going to be really good if you have Rampart. So it's really basically meant for one legend only. And this is a whole bunch of things. But next gun is L-Star, but they have the legendary guns. I think, isn't L-Star a legendary? I think it's a legendary now, but we'll just rate it still anyway. I was about to put it with the legendary, but we'll rate it. It's like a B tier gun. It's a close range gun. If you're up close and you're hitting every shot, it's pretty good. It's a legendary now, so you don't have to worry about no magazine or nothing like that. But the reason why it's not an S tier gun, like I said, is because it's not a long range. Like we see the other guns, we will get in the other weapons. We will get to them when we get to them, and why they will be S tier. But this one, in my opinion, at least is a B tier. It's S tier if you're up close and you're hitting every shot. But if you're not up close, medium or longer, and you're not hitting those shots, I mean, it could do something. It's not the worst, but it's not gonna be the best for you. It's just not gonna work in your favor. But if like I did say earlier, if you're on PC, any gun here could almost be good. But speaking of next gun, we got triple take. It's not S tier. It's not S tier. It really could be S tier. Like this is subjective. It could be an S tier gun. But in my opinion, this is an A tier weapon here. Look, it can literally be a sniper, a shotgun. I could almost argue an AR, but like literally, this gun is perfect. It can basically do it all. Close range from afar. It does its job. If you literally get the magazine, you get the stock, you get the right sight, and like I play Vantage a lot. So if I play Vantage, I'm hitting almost every shot with the triple take. Literally, and finding energy ammo, you're good. If you're right next to you, if they're like up close and they're right ahead, you can still spray them down. If they're from afar, you can still spray them down. The only reason why it's not an S tier, like if it was like if it was like G7 Scout, like what's it called, like G7 Scout, rate of fire, it would be an S tier. But we'll get the G7 Scout, we'll get the G7 Scout. But this is a really, really good weapon. I mean, it's one of the best in the game. But the reason why it's not S is simply because the rate of fire, and if you don't hit your shots, if you don't hit your shots, and you miss your shots and you're not ready for that rate of fire because it's a little slow, it's just not good. But next gun anyway though is basically off-brand AK-47, the VK-47 Flatline. A tier weapon. This is like the standard go-to assault rifle. I mean, it gets the job done. You know how to do like them tests where they like dirty up the gun or whatever. I don't know what they call them again. It's like a dirt test or something like that. I don't know what they call the test, y'all. Let me know in the comments below. But it's like the test where they test out the gun and test out the weapon to see like how it would function after like heavy use and all that. Some tests like that. This gun is pretty much that. And there's several guns like that, which we will get to. I mean, you could kind of look at the list and probably guess. But this is like an A tier gun. It'll get the job done. You could put good sights on it. You could change it from single fire to auto. I mean, it pretty much does it all. I guess. I mean, honestly, okay, actually, no, it might be. It's not S. It's not S tier. It's not S tier. It's not S tier. There's better guns in this. And the reason why it's not S tier is simply because they're better guns depending on the map and the amount of ammo there. And we're gonna get to it. You can probably guess which is the better version of the 47 here, the flatline. But anyway, next gun is Car SMG, A tier weapon. Arguably, it could be S, but the problem with it though is that it takes two types of ammo, which sounds good at first if you never played Apex. You're like, two types of ammo, that's kind of good. And it sounds good, but the problem is, depending on whichever ammo you have as your primary like source of ammo, so it only takes heavy or light. So if you're focused on heavy ammo, like you're focused really heavy on heavy ammo, but you have a little bit of light, you gotta basically have only heavy attachments, right? You can't switch out to light, or you could theory, but like if you're in the middle of battle, you're not gonna be switching out different attachments when you run out of heavy ammo. So that's the problem why it's not S tier, but it can take two types of ammo, which is kind of good. Um, I know it says an SMG, but I'd be treating it like an AR half the time. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Just like the Vault, and it does really good at close. I think you're able to get like a two times on it, so that's good. You can't get a two or four times, but you can get a two times on it for sure. So that's good. You can kind of go do 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 with the semi-automatic uh, rate of fire. It's solid. It works. It gets the job done if you don't have any other like AR, but it's really focused on one type of ammo. Pretty much, you have to focus on when using the car. That's why it's not S tier. If it was able to focus on both types, it would still be pretty good. Next gun is Prowler S tier. I mean, Prowler now is absolutely crazy if you're hitting every shot. That's pretty much it though. If you're because it's a legendary now. So now they it's really good. If you hit every shot with Prowler, you're basically set for life. Like the only issue with the Prowler though, however, is that you can't use it from long distance. I mean, you could in theory, like I said, if you're on PC, you probably could. They'd be hacking on PC, which is trash, but I mean, I can't say game is game, but that's the game. But like on console, it's kind of hard to hit your distance from afar with this, but it can. It's possible though, and I think it's a legendary too now, so I don't think you can even add attachments. But even still, if you're able to hit all your shots and like it's burst, it's literally burst. So that you go doom 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 doom, it's pretty much almost automatic. So if you're hitting every shot with Prowler, you're doing insane amount of damage. Really good gun, pretty versatile, good for close and medium range. It's pretty good. And next gun is Rampage. This is like a D tier weapon. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I know some of y'all might be like, what? D tier? This should be at least like B or C or something like that. And basically, hear me out, y'all. If you're hitting the shots with a Rampage, it's all right. But I'm gonna be honest, so literally every other gun above the Rampage, in my opinion, at least, is better. I would rather have that to get a Rampage, unless you have a thermite grenade. If you have a thermite grenade with a Rampage, then put it at A tier, B tier if you're hitting every shot. But if you're not, you have like no attachments, or even if you have some attachments, this gun is trash. The rate of fire is so slow. I mean, it's not slow, but it's just not good. It's like when you find it on drop. If it's like if I see a Rampage or like a P2020, I'm gonna go for the P2020. That's that's a joke, though. That's a joke, though. I wouldn't go for the P2020. But the Rampage itself is just it's just not a good gun. It's not something that I prefer to go for personally. But it's not the worst gun, though. It's definitely not the worst gun. It's better than nothing. I'll say that it's better than nothing. If you have a thermite grenade, you're set. But other than that, it's not something I look forward to. And next up is 3030 repeater. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I barely use 3030 repeater, even as a Vantage main. I mean, I don't even if I find it, I literally just ignore it most of the time. The reason why it's higher than is the Rampage is because I'm pretty sure somehow it still has a better rate of fire, and if you're hitting your shots with it, it actually can do something. It's like a marksmanship. I say marksmanship, a marksman rifle. It works. It really works if you hit your shots and if you do it for long. If you're up close, I mean you're unless you're not on PC and you're up close, it's not gonna work well for you. Not at all. So that's why I suggest to some people, at least me and Justin play, we never go for this. Not at all. But I mean to each their own, if you're hitting your shots from a distance and it's an all right weapon, but there's like triple take. I would rather take a triple take than a 30th repeater. I mean, this is my opinion though. Next gun is R301 S tier weapon. I mean, this is the AR you want over the flatline simply because it's literally like the flatline. But what I like about the R301 is just how more access it has towards light ammo versus heavy ammo, in my opinion. Because I be finding I think heavy ammo is a little more rare than light ammo. Light ammo is everywhere. You can get 200, 100 plus, bullets of light ammo, right? Heavy ammo is a little more rare. It's a little more hard to find. And like, there's just a lot of light ammo attachment, not light ammo attachment, but like light energy, not light energy. What am I saying? Like light ammo attachments, basically for like the guns that only take light ammo. It like the R301 attachments are easy to find. It especially what makes it even better is its iron sights. The base sights with like nothing on is better than the flatline, in my opinion, and Justin's opinion as well. It's a beautiful, well crafted gun. I don't know why I'm saying that like I've seen it in real life. It's just versatile. Literally can take the 2 to 4 times soak in a flatline, but I mean, I'm just saying it's just like so much more ammo. It's more accessible. Let me say that. It's more accessible than a flatline, at least in my opinion, in my matches. And it does it all. You could argue the flatline could be S tier, but I'm just saying based on the attachments that you'd be finding and the amount of ammo for heavy. I mean, it does it all. The R301 really does it all. It's just more common. That's basically why it's S tier. It's pretty much more common than a flatline, but the flatline kind of does the same thing, but it's more common, and you can find more light ammo. And, you can play around with the R301 a little bit more and get the type of loadout you want. But it's a really good gun. S tier. This is like the go-to gun. Next, we have Alternator. That is A tier gun, simply because if you have disruptor rounds, it could arguably be S, but most of the time you're not going to get that. So Alternator, it's a good SMG. It could do a little medium range. If you can hit your shot from long range, it can. It takes up to like I think like two times. Sights, like I said, energy ammo is pretty easy to find. Pretty good gun. I mean, there's not much more else I need to say about it. As long as you have disruptor rounds, then it could be S tier. But if without it, it's still A tier. It gets the job done from up close and medium range. And if you find your attachments, are pretty good. Next gun is R99. I would put this at an S tier gun, but hear me out, y'all. It only works for close range, right? Medium range, maybe, but if it's not medium and further, really, it's just not it. Literally, if it was basically the R301 is like the all-around gun that works for any range. This is like the close range equivalent of like an R301. When it's up close, even though it's got nerfed a bit, because I'm pretty sure it got nerfed a bit, it still is a solid weapon. It's a go-to weapon still, even for me. Up close, it's crazy still. This was the go-to weapon in like season one, season three, y'all. Everybody remembers one of the best guns in the game. It just doesn't go for any further than what's it called? Long, medium range. You can hit medium range. I keep saying you can't really go medium. You could hit medium. It's hard, but you could hit medium. Long range is impossible, pretty much, unless you're hacking or on PC, because you know how they be like on PC. But other than that, this is a good SMG. I would recommend y'all go get if you're playing Apex for the first time and wondering what gun to look for. This is one of them to look for, the R99, good close range gun. Next up is P2020. That's F tier. That's just pure trash. Even with attachments, all that. Like the only time I would go for that is if I'm dropping like heavy. Let's say it's like a state or some like a heavy drop where it's like a city or like it's a big area. Like that's how if you're not playing Apex and you want to know how to start. Personally, I would avoid heavy drop like big areas like cities or like or like places that are like just like big and wide and like pretty urban looking. I mean, you could drop there, but those drops are just gonna be heavy, heavy, heavy concentration of players. And P2020 is not gonna help you most of the time. Even with attachments, even with I don't even know what other attachment it takes, but I know it takes a certain attachments. I think for like shield or something like that. But that's it. Like other than that, it's pretty trash. I mean, unless you're on PC, like I keep saying, because literally PC players be dropping people with this gun still. But this gun is just not that good. I mean, there's no reason why you as an Apex Legends player should even go for it or bother for it unless it's like heavy drop and that's the first thing you grab and kill someone with. Then once you kill them and they have a better gun, you take it and you never go to a P2020 again. Think about it, y'all. Think about it, y'all, real quick. How many matches have you seen or videos or even when you're playing Apex Legends? Have you seen when you're in the final circle or so and you're lasering it out? Who's using a P2020? No one is. No one is. No one's using that trash. So why should you get it in the first place? Exactly. Next gun, M60 Spit. I just said M60. M600 Spitfire. We just called it the Spitfire. S tier gun, in my opinion. This used to be a legendary. No, actually, I think it used to be a legendary gun as well as the what gun was it? Devotion. Devotion was a legendary gun back in the day. I remember, but I think Spitfire used to be a legendary at one point. Bro, I mean, this gun does it all, man. Maybe because I be playing Warzone sometimes, but this gun does it all. It's like the R301. Arguably, you could argue if you hit your shots with that, with the Spitfire, you could argue that it's better than that. But I mean, especially if you're a Rampage main, bro, you're doing good. If you're getting all the right attachments, you're doing good. It takes 2 to 4 times. You're doing good. Literally can hit from pretty much any range you want it to. Up close, medium, from afar, you're set. Takes and it's light ammo, which is common to find. And as long as you're hitting every shot, you are straight. Literally the best. one of the best guns in the game. I like it so much. I recommend you if you find a Spitfire, I would take it over any. I would probably take it over not any gun here, like anything, really anything over C tier. I would argue to, but I would definitely take a Spitfire over a Rampage and B2020, in my honest opinion. It's really good gun. And now we have a G7 Scout, A tier gun. For like a marksman, rifle, sniper, etc., whatever you want to call it. Especially for light ammo, it's really good. You gotta make sure you have the right attach. You really have to make sure you have the right attachments. That's really why it's not the S tier. Because like when it's like basic no attachments, even on iron sight, it'll do something if you can hit it. But like you really need attachments for the A, not for the A tier. Well, that's the reason why it's an A tier because you really need attachments for this gun. Because unlike these other guns up here, you don't really need any attachment, and it's still pretty good. You could argue flatline too, but really these guns like Iron Sight, like it's really good for them. But G7 Scout, you definitely need attachments for it. That's really why it's an A tier. If you really any gun that's going to be an S tier, you basically don't need attachments for. You can have like no attachments, still really good. And then anything in A, they just have certain reasons why. G7 Scout, like I keep saying, it just needs attach. You just need attachments for it to be like S tier to be good. But other than that, good rate of fire, it's a pretty solid gun. So I'd recommend it if you find it on drop, as long as you have the right attachments for it. Next gun is Kraber. S tier. Oh no. S tier. Come on now. Not A tier, S tier. Now I know and they got it nerfed, so now you have to like it takes like 2 hits. I think they have like blue or purple shield now, which is so dumb. It used to be one tap. Man, it used to just one tap players, but 2 hits is so good, I guess. But this gun is really good if you're hitting your shots though. Has a really, I mean, it's a sniper. It's 50 caliber, literally. So the rate of fire is extremely slow. Unless you're on PC trying to quick scope them, I mean, good luck with it. But it's really good if you're hitting your shots and you're like a vantage man, like you could snipe. Really good gun. Would recommend if you're able to get it, and you're able to switch a weapon that you don't need. Good gun. These are all legendary guns pretty much now. Next is a bow check bow. I think I'm saying that right. S tier. Not really, actually. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. That's like A tier, simply because, well, I think back in the day, these I think it was always a legendary. I think it was a legendary actually when it dropped. I could be wrong. I think when it dropped, it wasn't a legendary. What am I saying? I think when it dropped, it wasn't a legendary, but then they switched it to like a legendary gun or whatever they call these guns. I don't know what they call them exactly, like mythical guns or something. I think like legendary or like care package guns, pretty much. And so this bow, it's all right. It's good if you're hitting shots, pretty much. Now it's a legendary. I keep saying legendary. Now it's a care package gun. So, you don't need attachments. You don't need to go find anything. You don't need to find ammo. None of that stuff. But the only issue with the bow is that you have to pull it back. So it's kind of like the charge rifle, which we will get into now. But you have to pull it back, so you have to like when you're slowly like stringing it back, you're building up power obviously to hit your shots and do the most amount of damage. And you get quick fire and do a little bit of damage, but the other guns like an R301, it feels like up close, you could go quick as you can with the bow, but the R301 just has a faster rate of fire even when you fully charge it up. So you got to make sure you charge it up all the way, like you're stringing it back all the way, and you're hitting every shot for it to be good. But it's still a solid weapon. If you're in a care package, you can hit your shots. I would recommend you go get it. Next gun is Hemlock. D tier. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Now, to be honest, it's the rate of fire for the Hemlock. I'm gonna be honest. The rate of fire for the Hemlock, it's just not good. I mean, that's the reason why it's in D tier. It's just not good. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'd rather wait with the Havoc for like 2-3 seconds before it actually fires and do damage, or use a 33rd repair to get a Hemlock. I mean, the rate of fire is trash. Base sights they're like their base sights like the iron sights. It's all right, but you really need attachments for this gun too. And even with attachments, it's just not good. It's just I would rather use the Rampage to get the Hemlock. It's just not a good gun at all. It's pretty trash. I mean, there's nothing else I need to say. The only reason why it's better than a P2020 is because it's in burst and you can actually fire with it. That's really it. Next gun though is RE45. Yes, sir. That is an I can't say S tier because it's not for a far, but A tier. It's literally like the R99 but in pistol form. Especially now that's a care package weapon. where it has like all the attachments and everything you want. It if it's up close, I mean you're pretty much killing them. It's a really good gun. I mean, there's nothing else I really could say about it. It's a really, really good gun. One of the best guns, like in the game, especially up close. Would recommend. Next up is Wingman. B tier, because if you're on like PC, it's probably A tier, but I'm doing this more of a console perspective if y'all wondering, just in my opinion. Simply because it's a little harder to shoot on console, but you probably have to adjust to it over time. But when you are hitting those shots, it does damage, but it's like it's a revolver, So it only takes like 6 shots, something like that. You go boom, 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 boom. Then you got to reload and push. I mean, the only good thing I guess about it is like the speed. It's not like a heavy weapon or anything like that, and it'll get the job done. Yeah. I think there are a few attachments you can add and use to make it better. But it's not a bad gun. But like I said, the rate of fire, and you got to make sure you're hitting your shots. It's a little hard to hit the shots with the Wingman, especially on console. But if you can do it, it's pretty solid. So if you're willing to take it up and learn how to use the Wingman, be my guest. Next gun we have is charge rifle. Ah, I would put it in F, but I'm going to be honest, solid D tier. Simply because if you're new to Apex Legends, if you didn't know the charge rifle, and you can look up older clips of charge rifle, it was literally just a laser, right? And so, you could like aim down at someone and you could just follow them with the laser. And it was all right, but it wasn't good. But however, I think why it's changed now because of I think a few months ago, whenever this video is coming out in like October. Was it like? Well, I'm making this video October 2nd. Yeah, making this video October 2nd, but I don't know when this come out for y'all. But basically, the charge rifle got hacked. So what people could do is that they could basically like hold down like the firing button or like mouse or whatever on like PC because PC players always got to ruin stuff for everybody pretty much. And I'm just messing with y'all. But in all seriousness, the PC players that were hacking, they could basically hold down on their mouse and they could just basically follow players with like a laser charge rifle. It was just pretty much a broken weapon. So I think what they did was they changed it to now it's a burst gun. Like it still snipes with a laser, but it's like burst. Now it sounds really good in theory, but there's just one problem with the charge rifle. At least when you first start, you hit your shots are like, yeah, this is great. This is a great gun. When they're up close, they're like doing nothing. But the problem is when they're moving. When they're moving in the game, especially console, when they're moving in the game, when you have to follow them to make sure you're hitting up your shot, you know how hard it is, especially with the erratic movement that's in Apex, where people are using abilities, different movement, different techniques to move and all that. Buildings, hiding in buildings, camping out, etc. So imagine you see someone, you're about to snipe them, and then they move at the last second, and then you missed a shot. And now they know they're going to snipe that. That's why nobody's using a charge rifle when they're sniping people off. That's why every time you're doing a snipe off, no one's using a charge rifle because of its slow start. It's literally like the Havoc with the slow start. But at least in the Havoc, after you wait like 2 or 3 seconds, it actually fires. This gun, you have to wait like 2 or 3 minutes, not 2 or 3 minutes, but 2 or 3 seconds, right? Hope the target hasn't moved that much at all, and you're still able to hit it, unless you're on PC, of course. And if you hit your shot, then it's solid. But you gotta do that like 2 or 3 more times every time to knock them down. Nah, man, you're out of your mind. Mm-mm. That's why I say in detail because it's just even but with attachments though it's all right. Well, I would say all right, but literally the rate of fire ruins it. So attachments don't even matter. That's why the longbow here S tier sniper, and let me just put the sentinel here S tier sniper too. Let me actually. Ooh, hold on. Let me think about this all real quick. Actually, hold on. Let me put it actually as an A tier sniper. And let me tell y'all why I would rather have the sentinel as a sniper. So actually, hold on. Ooh, no, no, no. Okay, my bad. I'm tripping, y'all. No, okay. So we gotta fix the order first of all. Okay, let me fix the order for y'all. Okay, so we're just gonna do the longbow and the sentinel together because they're pretty much the same. But these are literally when you're going for a sniper, like these three are pretty much the guns you want to snipe with. But whichever one you find first here, just know they're both really good. The main Ooh, actually, I just thought about that. Actually, no, 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 no. Okay, so let's do the longbow first, actually. I just realized that. No, there's a reason why it has to be on A tier. There's a reason why it has to be an A tier, actually. I'm gonna explain it right now. There's an attachment that it has that I don't exactly remember what it does, but it has an attachment. I think it's a skull piercer, right? the skull piercer. I don't. It's not called rounds. It's like the skull piercer attachment, right? Where basically what happens is that when you equipped it with the longbow, it does additional damage, I believe, to shield or headshots. I think it's headshots. Headshots or shield, something like that. No, I think that's a sentinel with shield. We'll get to the sentinel. But the longbow, I'm pretty sure it focuses on headshots specifically. And it just does more damage overall, to sum it up. The problem with that is that it's hard to find. It's a golden item. So it's hard to find sometimes. And if you don't have that attachment, it's still going to get the job done. But without that attachment, it's not going to overpower the sentinel if you have just shield cells. And it just makes the sentinel just so much stronger. Especially if you're hitting your shots. I mean, it's just like the longbow, but if you're hitting your shots with the sentinel, it's gonna put in the work. It's gonna do the damage, and it's gonna get the job done. I mean, the sentinel was one of the best snipers before the Kraber, obviously. As actually has a fire rate of fire too. It's actually pretty good for a sniper, and so you're able to laser people from a good distance and it's pretty much the best sniper in the game before the Kraber. Especially if you have the right attachments, you know what you're doing. If you're playing like Vantage like me, make sure you take her passive ability very, very well. I use it very well and I've been hitting my shots. Very, very good sniper weapon. All right, next we got the EVA Auto C tier weapon. I mean, it's an alright shotgun. I'm yawning because that's how alright it is. It's not that good. It's not that trash. It's alright. It's average. It's an average sniper, not sniper. It's an average shotgun. It's an average shotgun. It's gonna get the job done if you have it up close. Make sure you have the right attachments, and if you have the right attachments, you could get it up to B2. But if you don't have the right attachments and you just have the base weapon, I mean, it's not that good. It's all right. It'll get the job done, but you could win final circle with it. That's pretty much what it's really good for. Like pretty much early drop. It's pretty much good with early drop or final circle if you have every attachment you need. Then it's good. But if you don't and you just have the base weapon, then it's all right. Next Mastiff, B tier. Now, the reason why the Mastiff is B tier is because if it hits right, it's like RNG. It's literally RNG. It's an RNG. It's an RNG based shotgun. Literally, I'm saying it that many times. That's how it works. Every time you shoot it, it's always gonna give you a different amount of damage. Sometimes you hit and it's like 12 damage. Next time you hit, it's like 90 damage. It's crazy. And so it's literally an RNG sniper, not sniper. It's an RNG shotgun. Um, you have the right attachments. It's really good. The RNG knows best to go in your favor, especially if you get a headshot. But sometimes if you hit from like up close, sometimes you're gonna get like 12, 20 damage, and it's just not good at all. I just wouldn't. It's not that I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend it over eBay Auto for sure. It's actually really solid. But I wouldn't recommend it over the Peacekeeper, which we will get to. And speaking of Peacekeeper, before that, we have Mozambique, still one of the worst guns in the game of Apex. Unless you have the right attachments, really, if you have the right attachments, you can probably get this gun up to like a C tier maybe gun. But I mean, you're not seeing people in like Final Circle, like I'm saying, using the Mozambique or P2020. Anybody using a Hemlock in Final Circle in Apex? Not most. Okay, I would think so. It's just not that good. I'm gonna be honest. It's just better shotguns or better guns that could do more damage. I mean, unless you have attachments for it, that's really it. I mean, why would I waste time with that? And then the next gun is Peacekeeper. It's an S tier shotgun. You could argue A tier shotgun, but I mean, I want to at least have like one gun from like every ammo type up here, pretty much. But even if I ignore that, at least bare minimum like an A tier gun, it's at least consistent with its damage, unlike the Mastiff, pretty much. And if you get the right attachment, it's gonna do damage. It's gonna work for you in like many many ways. It's gonna benefit you a lot. You just have to make sure you have the right attachment. Make sure you have enough ammo, and you're hitting your shots with the Peacekeeper. Right? It has a choke too, so you can actually pinpoint the accuracy of how close you want the bullets to go through and have like little spread. So make sure you have that choke enabled. There's certain reasons why you want to take the choke off. I guess if they're like a bit clustered up and you're not trying to focus on one player, then maybe you could do that. But definitely, Peacekeeper's a good sniper. I would recommend it. Not a sniper. What am I saying? It's a good shotgun. It does damage like a sniper do at times. I will say that if you have the right attachments. I'll say that. But yeah, that's pretty much the Apex Legends tier list from S to F. In my personal opinion, like I want to say, reiterate, this is my opinion. You can let me know in the comments below what y'all think about it. But these are preferably my go-to guns, excluding the Prowler and Kraber because they're from Care Package. R301, Spitfire, Sentinel, Peacekeeper. I would prefer, I would prefer for y'all. It's up to y'all. But I like to go for these guns if able to. Like these are my go-to guns in Apex Legends. Next, we have A tier. We have Vault, Triple Take, Flatline, Card, Alternator R99, D7 Scout, Bow, RE45, and a Longbow. These are guns that, if I can get them, I'll take them and I'll keep them. They will work. They will do damage when I need to do, and they're reliable. But they're not like 100% good. They're like 80, 85% plus. I would like go for them. Like I would like these. I would like these on drop. These are good drop ones. All these guns up here, I would like them on drop, or if I find the care package. Next up, B tier, we have Nemesis, L-Star, Wingman, Mastiff. These guns, if I find them, I'll be like, yeah, I'll take them, excluding Wingman. I don't really go for Wingman personally. But if I see, like, like a Nemesis, or I find a care package L-Star, and I have, like, let's say, like a car or something like that, I'm like, okay, I'll take it, maybe. Mastiff, and, like, I don't have, like, a real shotgun. Okay, I'll take it, I guess. It's all right. Okay. It works. And now we have Caesar, Havoc, Devotion, 33 Repeater, EV Auto. These guns, I'm like, if it's like early drop, I guess I'll take them. Unless I have like a turbocharger for Devotion, I really wouldn't keep a Havoc, 33 Repeater, EV Auto. I wouldn't keep it at all. But if I find them early in drop and then, I don't find a replacement for it, then I'll just keep it for now. It'll work. It's like the car that lasts like 20 years. I mean, it still works. I don't want it, but it works. I can't complain. And then now we're on to D, Rampage, Hemlock, Charge Rifle. And these are the guns I'm like, okay, if I find these first on drop and I'm getting junked, I mean, I have no choice but to literally use them. But they're literally better guns than these. So I just would just throw them in the trash pretty much. But they're not the worst. You know, the worst guns, even still to this day, even with after all the memes, the P2020 Mozambique F tier. These are the guns, if I see, I literally ignore unless the only reason I'm ever getting this gun is if I'm literally getting jumped and I have no choice but to grab it. I would rather punch at times than grab one of these guns. But if I have no literal choice but to fight with a gun, I will take them up and I have to win. But yeah, that's pretty much the Apex Legends tier list. I guess you could also call this like a how-to, not even a how-to guide, but like a guide towards the best guns, at least in my opinion, for console for Apex Legends. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like I always like to say, the party might be ended, but we just got started on the channel. I think this video should have an intro and outro by now. So until next time, King Daddy heading out. Take care, and I hope y'all have a good one.